Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 23rd of November, comes to you from London. And news this morning of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has given markets a bit of a spur. So we're seeing the US dollar just now starting to break down. That September low now coming right under pressure. 5 downside targets. So dollar weakness is very much a theme, and that means, of course, that we're seeing euro strength. We're not quite close to breaking that September high, but dollar weakness is the key. If we look at sterling, we're really strong against the dollar here. Vaccine news helping this morning, and we're sitting at 133.77. So sterling really in the run now. And against the euro, also higher, 112.65. Not yet breaking the September level, but trending up quite significantly with upside targets. So much better picture for sterling at the moment. Looking at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $18,500, getting all the way close to this $19,700 target that we've been talking about. US stock markets, of course, we're entering the Thanksgiving week this week, so will be a shorter week for markets, but we are seeing the S&P 500 just holding on to that higher level that we saw in September, but just running out of steam a little bit. No clear downside targets, and we do have upside targets. The downside target that was hanging over us was removed with new highs, but we can't say the same for Nasdaq. Nasdaq still struggling to break that September high. It was that 1st of September, so we're struggling to break that high, which means that we've got these downside targets still hanging over us. Until the Nasdaq can break to higher highs, that will be the issue for markets going higher. Looking at the Dow, we were down 0.75% on Friday. We did have a down week here as well. The futures this morning, the S&P E-mini is up 0.5%, and the Nasdaq is up 0.33%. Does suggest that markets will go higher today. The VIX volatility sitting quite safely at 23, so the fear index is under control, and markets not looking like they're set to fall sharply at any time soon. Looking at the FTSE future in the UK, we're up at 0.3%. The DAX in Germany is up over 1% this morning, so strong opening in Europe. The CAC 40 also up by a similar level. Japan was down very slightly. We see the long-term chart here just managing to break higher, so we are bullish on all three time frames on Japan. And if we look at the Hang Seng, we are just a little bit higher there. China was up 1%, so that's looking stronger, and the Sensex was up 0.6% in India, so looking stronger there, and the Aussie market up 1/3%. Gold is sitting at 1869. We haven't yet activated this downside target, and we are just nudging a little bit higher, but the medium-term chart not looking so good. That daily chart, the weekly chart looking still very, very strong. These downside targets just hanging over us until we can break higher. If we can break to new highs, we activate a massive target to $3,000. Silver also just a little bit weak this morning, not looking quite as good as the gold 60-minute chart, and again we've got downside targets hanging over us as well. US 10-year yield sitting at 0.85%, so we have really receded from that near 1% level, but the medium-term trend in bond yields is up. The short term, we are just a bit bearish there, so that's quite interesting. Taking a look at the energy mix now, big showing from Brent Crude this morning. We're up 2.3%, breaking, just nudging that previous high there that we saw in August. So we're just on that resistance level. Will be interesting to see if we can break higher. The target's all suggesting we can. The 1 minute chart, we've got a target of 46.60. That would break us to a new high, so that would be significant. Looking at WTI, similar picture here, of course. Just breaking to new highs, and lots of upside targets on that 60-minute chart. US nat gas sitting at $2.72, so that's quite interesting. We're just trying to come through the cloud. We do have some upside targets on the 1 minute chart, but nat gas is very hard call at the moment. We are bearish on that medium term. RBOB not looking as bullish as crude. We haven't got back above that daily chart, and there's a shortage of 1 minute targets, so we've gone neutral on RBOB to clients this morning. Looking at coal, we're up 2.4%. was just a little bit less clear on the targets. We've got targets in both directions. The daily chart not looking as great, and the 60-minute chart we are just a little bit stuck in the doldrums, so we're neutral here as well. Emissions though looking set for a break, up 2% this morning. We've got targets higher on all the charts here. We need to break that 28 euro mark. We just look like we're coming back above the cloud. We might find some resistance here this week, but for the moment, the targets look to be the upside. We're seeing NBP weaker this morning. Hard to be bullish here. We're breaking down. We're bearish below the cloud. We've gone neutral gas, just given that crude is much higher. And we're also seeing a mixed picture with TTF up 4% this morning, but still bearish below the cloud. Keep an eye on the OTC targets there. Looking at winter gas, we see where it's stuck in the doldrums here as well. Taking a look at German power now, we're up 2% this morning at 39.25. Will we ever break 40 euros? That's the really big question. We did have a momentary push through that last week, but we just struggled to hold 40 euros. We're back below the cloud, so we're neutral here. Looking at French power, it's looking less clear here, and we've got downside targets, so we're a bit more bearish there. Dutch power and Czech power not looking that great for a break. Will depend on German power, of course. If you look at the Cal on Nordic power, just looks dire. We've got a further downside potential on the 60-minute chart, some 6% lower. We haven't reached all those targets on the 1-minute chart. And if we look at the quarterly contract, we do have this morning a little bit of a mixed picture here as well. We're coming off the floor. So pretty hard call, but it just does look very bearish for Nordic power. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.